If you are a follower of the channel, you would know that I am a career-long Canon shooter. I got my start on nothing more than a Rebel SL2, and I now currently shoot on an R6 Mark II, and I sing Canon praises. They have been instrumental in my growth as a wedding photo and filmmaker, and I will sing their praises until my dying breath. But as many of you know, Canon has had a stranglehold on the RF mounts, namely when it comes to full frame glass with the, of course, autofocus that we all need for what we do. And in this video, I am going to explain to you why I am teetering on the brink of impatience to the point where I am strongly this time considering jumping ship from Canon to Sony. Throughout the course of my career, like many of you probably, I have been a fan of third-party manufacturers, namely Sigma. In a perfect world, I love their lenses so much, and I think they offer the absolute best bang for their buck that when it's all said and done, one of my career accomplishments would be to become a Sigma ambassador. I love their lineup so much. And much like many of you, every time they make an announcement of a date, we hold with bated breath and cross our fingers that they will announce that Canon has finally opened up the stranglehold that they have on full frame autofocus glass, and to no avail, and lo and behold, we are disappointed time and time again. I actually made a video way back in 2022, which I'll link right here, that has obviously not aged well because back then, I thought that Sigma would be available for RF mount cameras, and unfortunately, fast forward to 2025, and yet here we are without it. As a business, I totally understand why Canon would want to monopolize their mount for as long as humanly possible, as is evident with the launching of new products such as the non-L 28 to 70 f2.8, as well as the 16 to 28 f2.8. They're trying to make sure that they have available glass for when they actually do open up the mount, they can compete with third-party glass that will obviously be similar in price point. And I totally get that. I have absolutely no qualms whatsoever with you wanting to protect your intellectual property. However, as with many business decisions, that comes with a flip side to the coin in the sense that photographers, much like myself and probably many of you watching this video, it will resonate because of the fact that we are becoming very impatient and very weary with the desire of getting your hands into very specific prime and zoom lenses that could be made available to us in a more affordable fashion by these third-party companies like Sigma, Tamron, so on and so forth. So in this video, I'm going to share with you the many reasons why I'm actually thinking of jumping ship to Sony, and it has to do mostly with lenses and one camera in particular. I'll get to that at the end of the video. The first reason I've already hinted at the fact, and that is, of course, the availability of the plethora of E-mount lenses that are compatible with cameras like Sony. Right off the bat, I know that I can reach into my gear closet and whip out the same exact version of those lenses in Sigma format. And at the end of the day, I would love to become an ambassador. They are my dream camera company to collaborate with. And so I know for a fact that I can go on Amazon, BH, or whatever have you, and look up those lenses exactly as I need them in order to refrain from using Canon and substitute them with Sigma quality glass. The first benefit, although very particular to me, is the fact that my second shooter shoots on a Sony A7R V. And this means that if I were to also shoot Sony, she and I could swap lenses. Now, namely, she only has a 24 to 70, an 85, and the nifty 50 version of Sony, which means that I own a little bit more versatile glass. But if it's all said and done, and I do switch to Sony, I can see myself replacing these lenses that I currently have on Canon, which are 5, and I could get the Sigma versions of all those lenses so that she can enjoy using a 70 to 200, which she is lacking, and also a 100 or something similar when it comes to macro, which she also doesn't have. So it would make our photography-centric days very seamless, and we could just swap in and out and make ourselves a lot more versatile and a lot more seamless. And now the second reason why I'm strongly considering switching to Sony is also because of the fact that I come from a video background, which means that I am enamored by nice cinematic wedding films, something that I also offer in my wedding packages. And so with access to the E-mount system when it comes to Sony bodies, I would also try to get my hands on the newer anamorphic lenses with built-in autofocus that I never thought was possible, but in 2025 I'm seeing from companies like Siri, Blazar, and Apex, some of which, fellow YouTubers have reviewed, and they all seem to be amazing in flying colors. Therein lies the second benefit of probably getting my hands on Sony cameras with E-mount body and E-mount accessible lenses is the fact that one of my videographers shoots on an A1 as well as an FX3. And I can only imagine how buttery smooth autofocus anamorphic lens would be on a body such as his FX3 as well as an A1 where we have to use it in a pinch. And finally, reason number three, and this is more of an honorable mention, is the fact that I am wholeheartedly in on the A7R V. I've been meaning to get my hands on it to test because I think that gravitating towards the Sony mirrorless system would definitely intrigue me with that body. I've heard amazing things about it, 60 plus megapixels. It would allow me to crop so that I can start also selling prints on my website. And it's absolute workhorse. The image quality is astounding. Dual card slots, that fully articulating touchscreen and flip out screen combined. I mean, that would just be a dream body for cameras if I were to make the switch to Sony. So the question remains, am I going to make the switch? I still don't know that, but I am leaning more towards 70-30, whereas 6 months ago, I was still 50-50. Now, I have to do everything within my power to drive my business. As the slogan says, if you're not driving your business, you will be driven out of business. And so the pairing of my second shooter being able to swap lenses with me, the dream camera that I would be holding, and the access to anamorphic lenses that would make my wedding films a lot more dynamic is reason enough for me to switch. Now, I'm going to give myself until mid-year. That is to say, my 42nd birthday, which is in June. And if it gets to the point where we still don't have a single autofocus lens from companies like Sigma or Tamron, or any other for that matter, then I will hold myself accountable. And yes, I will be switching to the Sony ecosystem. There you have it. Those are my reasons why I wholeheartedly think that in 2025, at some point in time, I will be switching from Canon to Sony if Canon continues their stranglehold on the RF mount. What are your reasons? Are they same as mine? Do you have any other reasons? Let me know down in the comments. And if you want to check out more videos like this one, gear reviews, tips and tricks, as well as anything business related to weddings, stick around because I would love to have you. My name is Francis. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Shh.